Rodri leave Manchester City. Barcelona is desperate to sign him, but Manchester City is refusing to let their World Cup winning captain go. The transfer has completely collapsed. Barcelona fans are absolutely furious. This is one of the biggest transfer sagas in football right now. Stay with me, because this story is absolutely insane. Carrot. This is Robert's Football Talk, breaking down the Rodri transfer crisis that has left the entire football world in shock. Listen carefully, because this will blow your mind. Rodri is arguably the best midfielder in world football. He won the World Cup with Spain, he won the Ballon d'Or, he's won multiple Premier League titles with Manchester City. He's at the peak of his career. But here's the shocking truth. He wants out. He desperately wants to go to Barcelona. And when word got out, the entire transfer market exploded. Barcelona, the historic La Liga giants, have been aggressively pursuing Rodri. They see him as the perfect midfielder to transform their midfield. They see him as the future of their club. So Barcelona made their first offer, 45 million euros plus 15 million euros in add-ons. That's 60 million euros total. Manchester City laughed at it. They rejected it immediately. This is where it gets absolutely ridiculous. Barcelona came back with a second offer, 60 million euros, a fresh proposal trying to bridge the gap. And what did Manchester City do? They rejected it. Again, Man City is demanding 81 million euros, plus performance-related bonuses. Over 80 million euros. This is absolutely crazy money for a player who is already 30 years old. But here's the thing that makes this insane. Rodri has already told his representatives he wants to go to Barcelona. He wants to leave Manchester City. This is not speculation. This is confirmed. Rodri's representatives have been vocal about his desire to move to the Camp Nou. They've confirmed this decision has been communicated to Manchester City officials. So Rodri wants out. Barcelona wants him in. But Manchester City is holding him hostage with an unrealistic price tag. This is absolutely disgusting behavior. Manchester City is refusing to let him leave because they know what a weapon he is. Rodri is the engine of Manchester City's midfield. He's the foundation of their success. Without him, Manchester City would crumble. Pep Guardiola built his entire system around Rodri. The way City plays, the way they control games, the way they dominate opponents, it all depends on Rodri. So Manchester City is holding him hostage. They're saying, you can go to Barcelona, but you're going to cost them 81 million euros. It's financial hostage-taking at the highest level. Barcelona has been left frustrated again and again. First offer rejected. Second offer rejected. And Barcelona is running out of time and running out of money. Barcelona's financial situation is not great. They can't just throw 81 million euros at a player. They need to be careful with their spending. But Manchester City doesn't care. Manchester City wants to squeeze Barcelona for every penny. It's ruthless, it's corporate, it's absolutely infuriating. The Barcelona fans are absolutely losing their minds. Barcelona supporters have been dreaming about getting Rodri. They've been hoping and praying that their club can bring him home. Rodri played for Atletico Madrid before joining Manchester City. He's a Spanish player. Barcelona is his home country. The Camp Nou is where he belongs. Barcelona fans are furious that Manchester City is blocking this transfer. They're angry that their club can't afford the ridiculous price tag. They're devastated that the chance to get Rodri might slip away. On social media, Barcelona fans are absolute chaos. Fans are attacking Manchester City on Twitter. They're calling Pep Guardiola greedy. They're demanding that Barcelona pay the 81 million. Fans are furious at their own board for not getting Rodri. They're angry that Barcelona isn't rich enough to compete for the world's best players. One fan wrote, Manchester City is robbing Barcelona. 81 million euros for a 30-year-old is insane. But if we don't pay it, we lose Rodri forever. Another fan said, this is what happens when you're not a Saudi club. You cannot compete with Manchester City's money machine. The entire situation is a reflection of modern football corruption. Manchester City has been backed by Abu Dhabi's wealth for years. They have unlimited money. They can throw around hundreds of millions of dollars and not care. Barcelona, meanwhile, struggles financially. They've made some bad business decisions. They overpaid for players. They're in debt. So when a player like Rodri comes available, Barcelona has to fight for him. Barcelona has to negotiate. Barcelona has to hope Manchester City will be reasonable. But Manchester City is not being reasonable. Manchester City is being greedy. Let me break down the absurdity of this situation. Rodri is 30 years old. He's already at the peak of his career. He's already won everything. He's already achieved everything. Manchester City paid 70 million euros for him years ago when he was younger and had more resale value. Now, at 30, Manchester City is demanding 81 million euros. This is absolutely insane. At 30, a player's value should be going down, but Manchester City wants it to go UP. This is greed. This is exploitation. This is Manchester City abusing their financial power. Real Madrid was also interested, but they've already backed off. Real Madrid saw the 81 million euro price tag and said, absolutely not. Real Madrid said, we have better things to spend our money on. So if even Real Madrid won't pay the price, what does that tell you? It tells you Manchester City's asking price is completely unrealistic. Manchester City claims they don't want to sell Rodri. Pep Guardiola has publicly said that if Rodri wants to stay, he wants him to stay. Guardiola says Rodri should sign a new contract with Manchester City. But here's the hypocrisy. If Manchester City really wanted to keep Rodri, they would offer him a new contract with better wages. Instead, Manchester City has let his contract run down. He's in the final year of his deal. And Manchester City is refusing to negotiate a new one. This is psychological pressure. Manchester City is forcing Rodri to make a decision. The real issue is that Manchester City doesn't want to lose face. Manchester City has invested years in Rodri. They've built their entire team around him. They've built their entire philosophy around him. If Rodri leaves, it sends a message. It says, even Manchester City's best players want to escape. That would be devastating for Manchester City's image. So Manchester City is holding him hostage to protect their EGO. Meanwhile, Rodri is stuck in limbo. He's committed to Manchester City for the rest of the transfer window. He's training with them, he's playing for them, but his heart is in Barcelona. His family is in Spain. His future should be at the Camp Nou. Instead, he's trapped between his dream and Manchester City's greed. This is absolutely unfair to Rodri. This is absolutely unfair to Barcelona. This is absolutely unfair to the fans who want to see this transfer happen. Manchester City's behavior shows the ugly side of modern football. Money has corrupted the game. Wealth has destroyed the integrity of transfers. Players are being treated like commodities. Rodri is a person. He has dreams. He wants to go home. But Manchester City sees him as a financial asset to be exploited. This is not football. This is corporate warfare. This is financial tyranny. Barcelona fans are rightfully angry. They're angry that their club can't afford to pay 81 million euros. They're angry that Manchester City is being so greedy. They're angry that one of the world's best midfielders might leave La Liga completely. If Rodri doesn't come to Barcelona, there's a chance he stays at Manchester City. And if he stays at Manchester City, Barcelona loses the midfield upgrade they desperately need. Barcelona's midfield is weak. Barcelona needs Rodri. Barcelona needs world-class players to compete for titles. Without Rodri, Barcelona will be stuck in limbo, stuck without the ammunition to fight for La Liga. This transfer saga is a microcosm of the problems in modern football. Wealthy clubs like Manchester City use their financial power to hold players hostage. They refuse to let them leave unless their unrealistic demands are met. Young, talented players dream of playing for clubs like Barcelona, but they can't escape wealthy clubs that have chains around their necks. It creates an imbalanced market. It creates financial tyranny. It creates a situation where money matters more than the player's desires. This is not what football should be. Here's what I believe should happen. If Rodri wants to leave, Manchester City should let him leave. If he's unhappy, Keeping him against his will is not the right move. Yes, it might hurt Manchester City on the pitch, but it's the right thing to do. Barcelona should make an offer they can afford. 60 to 70 million euros is a fair price for a 30-year-old player. If Manchester City won't accept that offer, then Barcelona should walk away. They should not be bullied into spending unrealistic money, and Rodri should be released from his obligations so he can pursue his dreams. That's justice. That's integrity. That's how football should work. But we know that's not what will happen. Manchester City will keep demanding 81 million euros. Barcelona will keep struggling to pay it. Rodri will keep being stuck in limbo. And eventually, one of three things will happen. 1. Barcelona caves and pays the 81 million euros, going into even more debt. 2. The transfer collapses and Rodri stays at Manchester City, heartbroken. 3. Rodri is sold to another club for less money, and Manchester City loses face. Anyway, no matter what happens, Barcelona and Rodri lose. Manchester City wins. That's how modern football works. This is absolutely disgusting. Manchester City has dominated English football for years. They've won countless trophies, they've spent billions on players, and now they're using their wealth to exploit a player and bully another club. It's shameful. It's despicable. It's the worst side of modern football. If you're angry about this, if you believe Manchester City is being greedy, if you support Barcelona and you want Rodri to come home, then you need to subscribe to Robert's Football Talk. We are not afraid to expose the ugly side of football. We are not afraid to criticize wealthy clubs for their greed. We are not afraid to demand justice for players and clubs. Your subscription matters. Your subscription tells the football world that people are watching. People are angry. People demand change. Share this video with everyone you know. Let them know about Manchester City's greed. Let them know about Barcelona's struggle. Let them know about Rodri's heartbreak. The more people understand this situation, the more pressure there is on Manchester City to be reasonable. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk immediately. Turn on notifications. Be part of a movement for justice in football. We will continue to expose greed. We will continue to criticize wealthy clubs. We will continue to fight for players who are exploited. This transfer saga is far from over. Barcelona will likely make another offer. Manchester City will likely reject it again. The cycle will continue. But we will be here. We will be documenting every moment. We will be exposing Manchester City's greed. Rodri deserves to pursue his dreams. Barcelona deserves to have world-class players. And football deserves to be better than this financial tyranny. Until that happens, we will keep fighting. We will keep exposing. We will keep demanding justice. This is Robert's Football Talk, exposing the ugly side of modern football that mainstream media is too scared to cover. Manchester City holds Rodri hostage. Barcelona struggles to pay the price. Barcelona fans are furious. This is not the game we love. This is the game that greed has corrupted. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and I'll see you in the next video where we break down more transfer sagas and expose more greed in football. Because the time for silence is over. The time for accountability is now. This is Robert's Football Talk, exposing football corruption, demanding justice, always.